What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Wheel Life. My name is John, and first off, I just want to say Happy Resurrection Sunday. Hallelujah, He is risen. So, today we are going to talk about 5 positives and 5 negatives of being in a wheelchair and having a disability. Ready? Let's go. Alright guys, so let's start off with the positives. If you know me, you know I'm a glass half full kind of guy. God has blessed me with a lot of optimism, and I'm very grateful for that. So, the first positive of being in a wheelchair is that my shoes are always clean. They hardly ever get dirty, and I'm very grateful for that. I love shoes. My shoes will probably outlast my entire lifespan, and that's okay with me, because I like to stay looking fresh. So, the first perk of being disabled in a wheelchair is that your shoes, they always stay clean. Let's go. Alright, so, another great thing about being in a wheelchair, another little positive perk, is that we get great parking. Front and center, front row, VIP parking. And it's really great, it's a big blessing, but the problem with that, the one downfall of that, is it's a very abused system. So many people think they can just pop your grandma's placard off and stick it in their car and go park anywhere they want, and that can be really frustrating to see. But, you know, if you have been blessed to have a pair of working legs, park yourself in the back of the lot and walk your little body forward. And thank God every step you take that you can walk. So yeah, it's a big perk to be able to park front and center. Very grateful for it. Another thing to be mindful about is not every disability is one that you can see. It's not a visible disability. There are people who need placards that do not look disabled at all. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it's a great perk. So another positive thing about being disabled that I want to talk about is what I like to call the discovery of realness. You might be kind of thinking to yourself, what do you mean by that? Well, I will tell you. Through this injury of mine, I have discovered who my real friends are. I have discovered people's real motives. I have discovered my real passions, what I'm really made of. So this injury has allowed me to see a whole lot of realness in the world that I might not have been able to see prior to this wheelchair. I might not have had the time to discover my real passions and my real joys in this life. You know, I might still be surrounded by the same fake group of friends that I was pre-injury. But this injury really just gives you an opportunity to see the realness in people and in your own life. And that's one thing I'm grateful for. You know, not everyone gets to see that, and I'm grateful that I got to see that at a young age and be exposed to that. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So that's perk number 3. Perk number 4, let's go. Another positive thing about being in a wheelchair is that it has given me a very unique perspective on life. You know, I am so grateful for every little thing in my life. Whether it's just waking up in the morning, whether it's a nice cold drink of iced tea, whatever that may be, I am just so grateful for every little thing. And things that I would have definitely taken advantage of, taken for granted pre-injury, are things like that. And this injury has given me that unique perspective that life is really precious. And you never know how a day will end up. And you know, I'm in ministry, I'm a pastor, a preacher, a speaker, and one thing this injury has given me is a unique perspective on people who are hurting. And it has given me a unique ability to reach those people better than other people might have the opportunity to. You know, they say real recognizes real. Struggling recognizes struggling. So it has given me that heart to help serve those people. And that's one thing I am forever grateful for, that this injury and disability has brought me. That is my positive spin number 4. My 5th and final piece of positivity that has come from my wheelchair, and it's my absolute favorite, is that my weakness has strengthened my relationship with God. That is my absolute favorite thing in the entire world. You know, I grew up as a Christian. I've talked about this in other videos, but prior to my injury, my relationship with God was very weak. When I was physically strong, my relationship with Him was weak, but when I am physically weak, my relationship with Him is very strong. It's funny how life works like that. But I'm just beyond grateful that this injury has showed me what's really important, and that is my relationship with God. So that is perk number 5. Alright, so we talked about the positives. Now we are heading towards the the negatives of being disabled. So let's jump right into it. Negative number one is that everything is extremely expensive, and the majority of the time, insurance is trash. What I mean by that is, it's kind of a saying that being disabled is expensive, and man, is that true. Wheelchairs, adaptive equipment, vehicle modifications, all cost a whole lot of money that oftentimes people in my situation cannot afford to have. There are so many pieces of adaptive equipment that could better my life, but I am just a poor preacher and I cannot afford it. And insurance will not touch that kind of stuff with a 10-foot pole, because that's not a necessity. You know, it's not a necessity to better my life and live more independently. But hey, I'm not an insurance person. I don't know these things. But yeah, so that's another major downfall of being disabled, is the expenses that go along with it. There are people, if you look online, who have graphs about how much it costs to really be disabled, and it's astronomical. So yeah, take some time, check that out. That's downfall negativity number one. Is it recording? Okay, let's just start right now, you're fine. So, alright, so negative, oh, I'm sorry, just keep rolling, let's keep rolling. So, the second aspect of negative things, why can't I talk right now?
You want to stop it?
No, we're going to keep going, So, number two on our list of negative aspects of being disabled is that the world is very inaccessible. You know, to a wheelchair user, most of the world is segregated. And, you know, we do have the ADA Act, which means that buildings built after 1990 are supposed to be handicap accessible. But there is still a whole world out there that is very inaccessible. And it can be very frustrating to someone like myself. You know, when I want to go with my friends and family, I always have to make sure that the place is accessible. Because there is nothing worse than showing up somewhere and opening the entrance door and seeing a flight of stairs. It's like someone wanted to climb Mount Everest. It's very hard and not easy, and it makes life harder than it has to be. So, you know, next time you're out and you walk up a flight of stairs, be grateful for that. Because I look at that and I wish I could do it. But hey, that's life. It goes on. So yeah, that's another big problem in this world, is every place isn't accessible. A lot of times I wish stairs were like slides and I wish grass was like tar. But hey, can't have everything wished for, can you? So let's go on to the next one. The third negative thing that we're going to talk about being disabled, is that people treat you very differently. And it can be really frustrating and confusing. Like, why are you treating me differently? I'm the same person I was pre-injury, I am just sitting down. And a lot of people do not grasp that fact at all. You know, I'll give you a funny example of being treated differently. So, a couple years ago I applied for this job that I was very qualified for. I sent in my application, I got a phone call to be called in for an interview. Talked to the guy on the phone, he was so excited to have me come in. Oh, you sound so great for this job, we can't wait to meet you, can't wait to have this meeting and hopefully work with you. So I go in for the interview, I roll in the door, and man, you could see the look of excitement just drain out of this guy's face. He looked at me like I had 17 heads. You know, and it was a job I was very qualified for. I grew up racing motocross, it was a job selling motorcycles, so, you know, it would have been a great fit, but never got a call back, that's for sure. The availability of the job, the more I talked to him, it went out the window. But hey, people treat you differently, and that's just something that we have to come to learn to live with. But it is a disadvantage, and it is one of the negative aspects of being in this wheelchair, that not everyone has the ability to look past these four wheels that I'm sitting on. Number 4 on the negative list of things that make being disabled not so fun is that everything that I do takes like 5 times longer than it should. Whether that's getting dressed in the morning or brushing my teeth, eating dinner, doing a hobby like building Legos or whatever that may be, it takes like 10,000 years to accomplish when it should take like 5 minutes. But, you know, without hand function, it's pretty self-explanatory as to why things take me so long compared to the average person to get done. But that's definitely a big negative aspect of my life. And I'm not a very patient person, but this injury has taught me so much patience. And I have grown a lot over the years, even though sometimes I still want to take stuff and throw it across the room. But hey, it happens. Let's move on. So the fifth and final thing that I will talk about on our list of negative things that come with being in a wheelchair is that I am like 4 feet tall. And with that comes a lot of obstacles. I can't reach half of anything I want to reach. Top shelves are like the top of the Eiffel Tower now. I am stuck rolling behind people and staring at their butts that I don't want to stare at. I can't see over fences at sporting games or wherever I go. So things can be very difficult from that aspect. Pre-injury, I was 6'1", so I was kind of tall. So, you know, it's like I had the view of the world pre-injury, and now I'm very short. So that's kind of a lighthearted one to think of. But yeah, everything seems so high. So very, very, very high. But anyways, yeah, that's negative number 5. Alright guys, so those were my 5 positives and 5 negatives of being in a wheelchair. And I just want to say, everything that I just mentioned in this video is uniquely distinct to me and my experience as a wheelchair user. You might have a similar injury and not experience any of these things that I'm talking about right now, and that's okay. But you know, tell me what you experienced in the comments below. This YouTube channel was started to start a conversation. So let's conversate in the comments below. If this has brought any value to you, like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. You know, let's get that word out there. And one last thing. In my description box down below, you'll see a link that says facebook.com/steeplefellowship. Tonight, Easter Sunday, there will be a live stream of a message I'll be delivering at my church, and it's going to be a good time. Check it out. I encourage you to come watch along with us. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great week. Hope you have a blessed Easter day. I look forward to seeing you again in future videos. Anyways, let's go.